Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Unfiltered Perspectives. I am Tara.
I'm Kimberly.
And I'm Leslie.
Today, guys, we are talking about money, specifically youth and financial responsibility. So, we'll probably be asking questions like, should kids work? Should they contribute at home? Should they get an allowance? And if they do, how much is too much? We're going to be getting into the balance between teaching responsibility and letting kids just be kids.
Mm.
This is Unfiltered Perspectives, where real talk leads to real growth and every perspective is valued.
This is going to be good. I wish we had some young people on to get, but especially my young person, because I would love for him to share his thoughts on money right now.
Has he shared his thoughts with you about money?
His facial expressions speaks volumes. Let's just say that.
Oh, that's interesting. Do they speak volumes? Is this out of the blue or in response to something else, some other stimuli?
Well, well, let's start with your questions,
Okay.
which are probably some of the same as mine.
Okay, so start out. Did you get an allowance growing up? And if you did, how did it work?
I I don't recall getting an allowance. But I do recall being somewhat spoiled, so I kind of just didn't really need an allowance per se. I was slightly spoiled.
Well, la-di-da.
Oh,
Baby of the family.
what
What's the
does
big?
that mean, though? Spoiled in that.
No, I mean if I wanted something, I think I pretty much I don't think I okay. How do we clean this up? I don't really think that I asked for a lot, but if I did want something, I did get it. I don't recall ever getting an allowance on a weekly basis or biweekly basis or anything like that. But I mean, here and there, I had older siblings, so I would get money and get things, does that answer the
Yes, it does.
Did you guys get an allowance?
I don't think we did. I don't feel like we got an allowance. I think that at various times there were, different things were tried, like taking out of the garbage, you get a quarter, that kind of thing, but it was very
Yeah.
sporadic and nothing really regular. So I would say no, we didn't really get an allowance.
Yeah. It's funny because I'm like, man, it's been so long. It's been so long. But yeah, it definitely wasn't an allowance. But we probably did get paid for certain chores and things like that.
What do you remember, Kim?
I don't have a recollection of allowance or even actually getting paid for chores. And so I'm thinking, but I do know that sometimes we have little sort of pocket money for candy. I think that candy money actually was money that was supposed to go into the church collection basket, and maybe some of it would go into the church collection basket, and some of it would go to the candy store on the way home.
Not my experience.
Kim,
Reverend Kimberly. I don't the fact that I remember like taking up the garbage 25 cents or something like that means to me that it was something that was not a frequent thing. It's maybe something that was tried once in a while, and then I don't
yeah,
know how it like panned out or not. But I wouldn't say that we were spoiled, but I would say that by and large, if there was something we wanted or needed, we would be able
you,
to have it for the most part. But not that we ever not that I can recall us ever needing or wanting much.
yeah,
Just like, field trip stuff or, things like that.
yeah. We had what we needed.
We need it.
Now, spoiled is not a word that I would have chosen, but it's a word that was thrown around in my youth.
Ah.
Goodness. So, how early do you guys remember? So, I think I was 14 when I had my first summer job. Did you guys do the summer work as well?
Yeah, it works, not work stay. What was it called? Summer youth employment.
The,
That one. Yeah,
the
we were 14 to get working papers.
Yeah, so you guys did the work thing.
Hmm.
Okay. So was your money
Yes, as opposed to what?
as opposed to having to bring something in the house?
Oh, no, we didn't contribute. My recollection was that I didn't contribute to the household with my summer money or after school money.
Okay.
Right.
I think I remember bringing money home, but then I got it back. It was saved for me. I
Hmm.
was surprised it was saved for me, and I think might have gotten like, I don't know, school stuff or something of the sort. But so I didn't technically it didn't go toward the house. It was
Mm.
kind of put for me. So I know one of the topics we had talked about money and whether or not teenagers should have to work if they're in school. And I was kind of like, I don't think they should have to if they have a full study load. You know what I mean? That they shouldn't have to work. That's a lot to take on. However, my son was dying to get to work. Now, he only just started working when he turned 18. Do you think that, and this is again something we talked about, kids should work at 16, 17, and at what point should they contribute financially to the household?
I think if they want to work at that age and they're able to keep up their studies, then they could. I wouldn't say that they should, 'cause unless it was something that the family actually needed to happen.
Okay. Right. Right. We talked about that.
And what was the other part of your question?
Once they're working, at what age do you feel it's appropriate for them to contribute to the household expense?
I don't know that I would set an age or even a requirement that they should or need to or
Hmm.
need to. Maybe once they're working and they're an adult, I guess. I don't know. I think they should contribute to the household in other ways, maybe not necessarily financially, if that makes any sense.
In other ways, like,
As in responsibilities for living there, like chores and things like that.
okay. Kim, you say what?
Yeah, I think similarly. I mean, I would expect that everybody in the household contributes in terms of chores and work management. Like, but I wouldn't expect
Mhm.
for children to contribute to the finances of a household. And I understand that in some families, it is necessary for children to contribute to the finances of a household.
Yes.
So here's the thing. My son is 18, and I feel like at 18, you should be contributing financially. And not a whole lot, but I'm starting to teach you financial responsibility. Am I wrong for that? Or is it just a matter of what fits your household? Or do you know what I mean? Do you think that it should be 18, it should be 21, it should depend on whether it's affordable, whether, what do you go by? What scale do you use?
I think it depends on what fits your household. I can't say you're wrong for that at all, but it depends on what fits your household.
Mhm.
What would fit your household? Like, what goes into your thinking about what fits a household?
Whether or not I guess the reason behind expecting them or requiring them to contribute, is it necessary for, the running of the house? Is it necessary for paying bills or even their own expenses? Is it something that is required? Like in my household, it's not required for Matthew when he has a paying job to contribute financially. But what is required is that when he makes money, it's budgeted so he saves some of it, that kind of thing. I mean,
Mhm.
he saves some, he spends some, or what have you. You don't just get it and
Mhm.
spend it willy-nilly.
Yeah. It's not it is a requirement for me because he's 18 and he's working. And it's not so much that it's really making a big contribution to the household expenses per se, but pretty much goes back to him anyway. But I'm trying to teach him that you tithe, you contribute where you live, you take out for your transportation, you pay yourself, and you save.
Mhm. Yeah. I like all of that. In our particular situation, we didn't exactly do it in that way. We tried to start teaching him about financial responsibility for himself and for household from a very young age. Sometimes the
Mhm.
lessons stick. I mean, once he's out on his own, he's doing his own thing. Sometimes things go a little astray. Then you have to remind them of those lessons that you've been, you know, hopefully instilling in them all along, and eventually, it'll click. But like I said, we started teaching that very early on. And maybe it's different because he all along he does other things, like contributes to like cooking, contributes to like keeping the house, manageable, running, or whatever when he was here full time.
Mhm.
But also a lot of our like things like some things, streaming channels that we watch and stuff are because he pays for them. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So he
Gotcha.
contributes
Okay.
in ways like that as well. I'm gonna
Okay.
have to do a lot of editing here, man.
No,
Well,
I
can
think you're
I
good.
ask, so you guys, you have taught your sons, your children about finances. Like, how have you done that? Do you have conversations with them? So how do you talk to your kids about finances and contributing and budgeting? Things like that.
We we talked to him about it when he was a kid. I think you might know, like, when he was really young, I made him, like, this book or whatever that he can keep track of money that he gets in and how it's budgeted, like, for spending, for saving, for charity, that kinda thing. When he would get money for his birthday, we'd say, "Okay, you have this amount of money. You have to put half of it away and save it. You have to you save half of it and you do whatever. You have the other half you can spend in these other ways." Even now,
Mhm.
I think he still actually has, like, the little envelopes that I made for him that have the labels on, "Save, blah, blah, blah," right here in his closet. But, you talk about things like that. You talk about credit cards, what it means, and when you have debts, you have to pay them. When you get bills, you have to pay them. Talked about when you have a certain amount of money, you try to live with that amount of money and not go beyond that. We did not give an allowance by and large, but we would reward things like good grades. So, like, when the report card came in,
Right.
you get money for A's and B's, that kind of thing. And with that particular money, that one he didn't necessarily have to save some of it. I think he did, but you can go to Toys R Us and pick out some things within,
Mhm.
your budget. And that budget also includes tax, don't forget.
I did something similar as far as trying to teach him to save this and, once you put something in savings, don't touch it. I have been terrible with money. One, because there wasn't much to work with. And two, no one taught me. No one taught me how to budget. No one taught me about credit cards. I didn't know. And so I'm teaching him now so that he's not in the same situation,
Mhm.
especially he is working and you have a little bit more to work with. That's why I sat down with him and explained to him the importance of tithing and what you take out for yourself. Once that's gone, it's gone for the week because he gets paid weekly. And in his mind, it's like, oh, I can spend this because I get it. I next week I get more money. Slow down because it burns a hole in his pocket. Soon as Thursday comes around, he wants to run to the mall Thursday after work. And I'm like, just remember what you're supposed to be doing. Put it aside, separate it. He pays for Uber because we share the car when we can. But if you know that Uber costs you $25 a day and you work 3 days a week, put that $75 aside. And if you happen to use my car one day and you saved $25 on Uber, don't go to the mall, put that in the savings. That's not an extra $25. That's $25 more that you can save.
Mhm.
2 weeks ago, he wanted a pair of sneakers. They didn't have the sneakers you wanted. That doesn't mean go buy something else. That means now save that sneaker money. Like, I'm trying to get him to get it, but again, he's a spender. He's a spender.
Yeah,
And but
nice
this is his
spender.
his first job and he's excited and I get it. Just you want him to enjoy what he works for as well. But definitely he has to learn to contribute where he is, even if it's just a little bit. And I think the little bit that he brings home it's not hurting him. It's really not.
Mhm.
it, he's not bringing home no $100 or $200 a week or anything like that. So
Mhm.
just something to show him that you have a responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, like I said, he still gets it back because I still pay his phone bill. Still pay his phone bill. And he's been wanting to get his own phone, his bill under his own name. And I said, do you realize that you're better if we just keep things the way they are? They got to run your credit. You don't have any credit. You gotta pay the bill, you gotta pay the service, you gotta pay for the phone, you're trying to do too much at one time. Like, he turned 18 and just think that he just wants to do everything. Just take it easy, breathe, because before you know it, you will be doing everything. So just little bites. Little bites. Save as much as you can. Save as much as you can. But pay your tithes first.
Mhm.
Which he's probably not doing. He's like, I haven't been to church on a Sunday since I started working. You have the church app. You can still pay your tithes. Nice try though. But I do think 16, 17, maybe not, but I think whether your household says 18 or 19 or 20, 21, at some point you need to start. For me, not for everybody. Even if I were in a position where I could foot all of the bills, I think I would still have him contribute just because he needs that responsibility,
Mhm.
if that makes sense.
It does. No. Yeah, I
No?
agree. If you're still living at home, like, it's reasonable to contribute in some way. Not necessarily because the family needs it, but because it does build responsibility, and it also shows that you're not necessarily taking your parents' generosity for granted, you know? So,
It's been such a long time, but my recollection from when I was a young adult was that while I was in school, so like college, I was an adult. I wasn't contributing to the household, but I was paying my own expenses.
Mhm.
And when I was in graduate school and working a job, as part of that, I think I did contribute to the household. Right, so when
Mhm.
I had a work study job that was, like, part of my financial aid, right, so when my work was part of my financial aid, I wasn't contributing to the household, but I was paying my expenses, and once I had my own, like, job, even though
Mm.
I was still in school, I was contributing. I think that's probably true.
Yeah.
I mean, and at some point, I think that was also probably only a year, and after that, I just lived on my own.
'Cause there's another young person who's a friend of my son's, and we were having this conversation, and I found out that they don't take money home, but they have a vehicle that they don't have a car note for, but they're they're buying their own gas, which my son does not always do. Sometimes, you know, this person's, taking care of their vehicle and buying gas, and they pay their own bill, and this year, they're a senior in school and they're paying their own senior dues, and you know what I mean? So that to me is something,
mhm.
you know, they're paying their way in a different way. So yeah, he's got to do something. If he had a car that he was maintaining or, paying his own phone bill, but yeah, he's got to show me something. Yeah. Did you have questions, Tara?
Question was, should money at home be tied to chores, or should chores just be expected? And I think that this should just be expected. I think this should be tied to chores because if you're part of a household, you should contribute to keeping the household running. So you don't get paid for that. You don't get paid for that.
I don't know. I think kind of when they're younger, we had like chore chart, a chore chart, for making the bed or putting your toys away or just, trying to teach them. But once you reach a certain age, you know what you're supposed to do, and it's a part of your contribution to the house, and you need to do it. So I think it depends on the age. When they're much younger and they think that they're earning something, then I think it's okay, but not.
Mhm.
I'm not giving my 15-year-old $5 for taking out the trash. Or my 10-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how do
Like,
you stop something like that, right? So for you're young and you're getting money to do a chore, and then you have whatever birthday, 8, 10, and all of a sudden you don't get money to do the same thing because 'cause you're older?
Give them a heads up, like, "Hey, you're getting too old to be paid for this. Like, you're old enough now to do this because you're part of the family. We do this as a family and we all work together." You'll find a way to communicate to them at an age where they understand it.
I would say, like, cleaning your room, you don't get paid, but if you help clean my room, something beyond what should be expected of you to do, then you get something.
Yeah.
But and then I was gonna ask, what's one money lesson you wish you'd learned earlier?
Just one?
It could be more than one, but one.
just overall, I wish I managed it better. I wish I had never had credit cards. I wish I had learned to save better.
I wish that I had the same thing with credit cards. I wish that was not something that I learned about freshman year of college. And not and
Mm,
coming from a place where I really didn't have much, and so I get a credit card and thought, "Oh, I think so and so would like this. Imma get this for that," and and stupid stuff for other people, stuff for myself, but also stuff for other people when just because I was able to, and I wish that I had not done that because it took a while
mm,
to fix that. I didn't know how credit cards worked when I started college.
mm,
I didn't know because I guess my parents I guess they had them, but I'm not even aware that they did. So I didn't know that you spend this money. I guess at some point I probably realized you have to pay. I mean, I just was completely ignorant of the whole credit card thing. So
mhm.
so I wish I'd known about that when I was younger.
What about you, Kim?
I wish I had a better understanding of how to invest well for
Mm,
retirement.
Yeah.
mm, yeah, that.
My scripture for today is Proverbs 22:6. It says, "Train up a child in the way he should go. Even when he is old, he will not depart from it." And I guess the takeaway from that is simply that our money habits, they start at home. And when you teach kids about allowance or chores or contributions of any kind, saving, it's not just about it's not just about the dollars. It's about contributing in general towards it's about
Mhm,
responsibility, it's about respect, and it's about, like I said, yeah, responsibility, shaping character and all that stuff. And
mhm.
also, even with the financial part of it, even if for a while they wanna sow their oats, their financial oats.
Thank you for
Their their
clarifying.
financial oats, you know that they have that foundation that they can come back to. They
Mhm.
know the lessons, they know what's there. Right now, they're just maybe experimenting a little bit. Kim, your faces are killing me, Kim. What? I've been
Sound,
financially
sound like somebody not on the right path right now, but you trusting they can get back?
I wouldn't say not on the right path, but things are much more expensive now than they were in the 90s.
Yeah.
Much more expensive now than they were in the 90s. So,
Listen, things are much more expensive now than they were in the 2020s.
yeah.
Yes, Lord.
So, as we can tell, money can be a touchy subject, but it also can lead to some teachable moments. The point isn't just about giving kids money, it's training them to be responsible, to be wise, and to be faithful with what they have been given. Um,
Amen.
Amen.
all right, so yeah, everybody, thanks for hanging out with us today. If this conversation made you think about your own money lessons or how you're teaching the next generation, share it with someone who'd appreciate the perspective. And as always, this is Unfiltered Perspectives, where real talk leads to real growth, and every perspective is valued.
Check us out in the interweb. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky. Don't forget that one. We'd love to hear from you.
And we love to hear what your person has to say about their money. Let us know what they're saying. We'll see you back here in 2. Bye-bye.